Today is April 17th, 2014. Back with a trade recap. Going to talk a little bit about rules today. I only had one trade and it was a bad one. Today was an odd day. It just seemed like a lot of chop, and I ended up benching myself about midday just because everything I looked at were bad setups, and the good thing was, I put them all in my journal and tracked them, but every one of these, in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't trade any of these. I did trade one. It was just a trade that I'd held overnight, was on my watch list, and is a shitty setup. But overall, just a lot of chop today. I'm hoping, it's kind of the day before the holiday. Tomorrow markets are closed for Good Friday. You got Easter. I'm just assuming it was just one of these odd days, or I was just watching the wrong stocks, man. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. But big thing is, at least I followed my rules. That, if you don't have rules, you got nothing in this game. And that's the one reason I actually chose to do a trade recap, because it was kind of a boring day, small loss, but I think a decent lesson. Okay, so first of all, stocks PBR. Number one, it's an NYSE stock, which I hate shorting. I don't know if I've ever made money shorting an NYSE stock. It's also, I'm pretty sure, it's Petrobras. This is like some huge Brazil. It's like the Exxon of fucking Brazil, I think. So I don't know why I'm even shorting this thing. I think it's because 2 days ago it had this free fall here. You can see. This is the 15th. It opens up in the high 13s and falls down to 13, then goes up, and then I shorted it right here yesterday morning. I think in the 1340s, or maybe high 1330s, and it worked right away. It fell down to the low 13s, but then just bounced, and my stop was, I said 1350, 1360. My one of my main rules is never take a bigger than a $500 loss. Okay, I don't know if that works for everybody, and I'm not saying I've never broke that rule. I break it plenty, but to me it works just to have a hard set number, because in my going on 10 years of 7 years of trading. If it goes against you by $500, it ain't ever coming back. Okay. Now again, it would vary on your position size and if that number works for you. But I like to, and of course I use technical indicators. 1350 was kind of, a resistance level that if it broke through. Well, and you'll see that was part of the lesson. Today you see once it cracked 1360, it went straight up, and I guess that's the lesson. So I covered for minus $250 or something, I think, into this midday fade, because I just was like, I'm done. Okay, I cannot. Drives me batshit crazy to hold stocks for hours, much less days, mainly because, for me, and I think a lot of day trades, the longer you hold them, the worse things get. It's just like, if it's now the flip side is if it's working. If it's profitable, if you're short this stock and it goes down every tick, then hey, hold it for weeks if you want. But when you got an NYSE stock, a real company, on a day where the market doesn't want to pick a direction and it's going against you, holding it is idiotic. So, and I was off a day. Okay, so right here is where I covered. Okay, let me get over there a little closer. I covered into this, again, minus $250, an acceptable loss. Hey, losing's part of the game. And mainly just because I got sick of it, it kept going up to this 1350 level, these mid 1350s, and just, and would never fully roll over. Every time it went to low 13s, it bounces. Okay, so now the lesson finally begins. Okay, covered for a small loss, acceptable. Now look what happens. This thing, I actually was gone the last hour of the market. I didn't even realize it did this. Yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, it again, that 1350 level, boom, 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 boom. And man, you could say technical analysis is hokey or whatever, but man, look at once that 1360 level. Let me get, do I have crosshairs? Where's my horizontal, vertical? Anyway, fuck it, I'll figure it out later. But yeah, this 1360 level, I mean, it is just straight up to 1420. Okay, and now that becomes, I mean, if I didn't cut it for my $250 loss, this becomes a, I don't know, 70 cents times 3,000 shares. You know, it's a $2,000 loss, $2,500 loss. Okay, assuming you sell at the top or cover at the top. But so lessons learned is stick to your rules. They will save your ass. Okay, this sticking to my profit or my loss stop. You know, I stuck to my mental loss, and then I stuck to my dollar loss, and just said, you know, I'm done. Move on. It's not breaking down. It's not doing what you want. I mean, that's another rule that, you know, if it's not doing what you want, get out, okay? And case in point, okay, I went from a manageable $200 loss, only trade of the day, kind of sucks, you know, to go in red on the day and you know, to have this whole trading day and come out with one trade that you held over and it's a loser. But, you know, it just wasn't my day, and that happens. So that's, I mean, if you can take something away again, just pick your stops. I mean, number one, I mean, trading rules are important, but there's only one rule that matters. You know, all the other ones will help you and will you know, maybe make profits better or do certain things to get you where you want to get. But man, just cut losses. You know, just take the loss when it's small, when it's manageable. Don't hold, don't wait, don't pray for a 70-cent fucking spike. Okay, that is the lesson. And if you can pound that into your head, and man, tell me, or let me tell you, I've broke it many times, more times than I can count. But it's encouraging the days that you stick to it and do the right thing and make the right choices. So, thanks a lot.